When a top assassin checks into a hotel, the first thing he does is scatter glass marbles all over the entrance. Then he rigs a bomb to the door, hooks up a slow-burning fuse, and flips the switch. Anyone who dares to barge in is going to be pushing up daisies. After that, he heads out to the balcony to scope out the terrain and sets up a rope, ready to make a quick getaway at any moment. Even when he's taking a shower, his pistol is always within reach. He's a bald guy with the roundest head in the assassin world. No name, no age, and a barcode on the back of his neck are his trademarks. People in the underworld call him 47. His mission this time: assassinate the Russian President Belikov. Because Belikov's recent reforms have directly impacted the client's interests, the client wants him taken out publicly as a show of force. 47 accepted without hesitation. He loves rule-breaking missions like this the most, because in an organization full of bald guys, he has to be the one who stands out the most. The opportunity comes quickly. Belikov is holding a roadshow, waving to his fans with both hands up high, completely unaware that a sniper rifle is locked onto him. A reporter is doing an interview when suddenly blood sprays out. The bodyguard standing there drops dead on the spot. 4.7 kilometers away, in an abandoned building, 47 fired the second shot. Belikov took the bullet straight to the forehead, dying instantly. 47 then packs up his gear, casually tosses a grenade for good measure, and calmly walks away as a massive explosion goes off, marking the end of a flawless hit. 47's already at the St. Petersburg train station. He's in line to buy a ticket when his phone buzzes with a message. It's the agency, telling him to contact headquarters. 47 immediately fires up his laptop. Headquarters says there's a witness who saw 47 in action, and the source is solid. 47 needs to deal with this witness before Interpol gets involved. The witness is a young woman named Nika, and right now she's out for a stroll. 47, using intel, tracks her down. Just as he's about to pull the trigger, Nika suddenly looks his way. 47 freezes. That look in her eyes, it's like she's never seen him before. He starts feeling uneasy. On a rooftop in the distance, another bald assassin is hiding. Seeing the first shot missed, he immediately fires again. But because he's not that great of a shot, 47 disappears into the crowd. At the same time, Nika was also picked up by a car and driven away. Meanwhile, at Pulkovo Airport, international security expert Mike had just landed when his phone rang. The latest intel was that Belikov only suffered minor injuries, which completely shocked Mike. He couldn't believe that 47 had failed. Just then, his subordinate showed him a video of the assassination attempt. The first shot took out a bodyguard, clearing the way. The second shot hit another bodyguard, splattering him with blood. Normally, Belikov would be dead for sure. At this moment, Mike got another call from his trusted associate saying they had located the assassin at a hotel. Someone recognized 47 from a photo, and the Russian police had secretly surrounded the hotel. Mike's face was burning up. He'd been hunting 47 for years and still didn't know what he looked like, but he couldn't let this opportunity slip through his fingers. He ordered his men to notify the Russian police, telling them to just monitor the situation and not to take action because Interpol was now taking over the case. Meanwhile, 47 received a message from the agency saying the mission failed. Then, a news clip was sent to him, and 47 realized something was fishy. He demanded to know who the client was this time, but headquarters pretended to lose the connection and didn't answer. 47 flew into a rage. Who wanted Belikov dead? If you're double-crossing me, you'll regret it. I will burn your houses to the ground. By now, Russian special forces had the hotel surrounded, all of them looking deadly serious. Mike showed his credentials, wanting to get the lay of the land, but the fat Russian captain told him to go sing somewhere else, not wanting Mike involved. But Mike wasn't backing down, emphasizing again that Interpol was now running the show. While those two were arguing, Yuri, the director of the Russian Federal Security Service, arrived. He announced that he was taking full command of the operation. The plan was simple: see him, shoot him. Only Mike knew they were in for a world of hurt. The special forces were ready with a battering ram set to breach. Meanwhile, 47 was packing up when his phone rang. It was his old associate calling. She recklessly informs 47 that the client is Belikov, and Russian special forces have begun their operation to capture him. Just then, a special agent steps on a glass marble. 47 knows the police have arrived. He decisively drops the phone and runs to the balcony. And as the sound of a hammer breaking down the door rings out, all the special agents are instantly killed. 47 grabs a safety rope and jumps, thanks to the force of the explosion. He crashes through the window and falls into a room on the floor below. A young couple making out on the spot exclaims, "Damn, isn't he the character from TV?" 47 moves with cat-like grace towards the fridge, reaches in with both hands, and pulls out a pair of pistols he had stashed there earlier. It's true what they say, with 2 guns in hand, the world is yours. Meanwhile, Russian special forces are searching everywhere. 47 swings up both hands, and a few unlucky guys on the left drop. 47 then heads to the elevator, using a small knife to pry the door, open by twisting it to the right, pulls it open, triggers the fire alarm, and then jumps into the elevator shaft. Mike orders his men to guard the elevator while he runs upstairs. 47 slides down the cable to the top of the elevator car and pulls the emergency brake. The elevator abruptly stops, leaving the Special Forces agents bewildered. 47 opens the hatch, finding them completely unaware. He quickly pulls out his guns, taking them by surprise from above. The unlucky bunch is killed instantly. 47 crouches down, jumps into the elevator, presses the button for the first floor, and then steps on the shoulders of the dead agents to climb back up. The elevator is about to reach the first floor. Mike's subordinate immediately raises his gun, on high alert. Little does he know, he's about to be greeted by a pile of dead bodies. He hastily reports this to Mike. Seeing the elevator returning to the 3rd floor, Mike and his men simultaneously rush upstairs. 47 is casually walking when Mike spots him. 47 slowly turns around, just as a waiter happens to stand between them. 47 seizes the opportunity, turns and bolts. He then bursts through a room's door, runs straight to the balcony and jumps. With a 9.9 difficulty level jump, he successfully makes his escape. Mike, once again, almost succeeded. This failed capture cost the police 16 lives. The suitcase 47 left behind grabs Mike's attention. Any former assassin would recognize these items. Mike carefully examines the object in his hand, but finds nothing unusual. At this moment, Yuri arrives with his men. He believes 47 is connected to the CIA, so according to EU regulations, any matter involving national intelligence is to be handled solely by the host country. It was clear he was ordering an expulsion, but Mike couldn't care less about him. He pulled out a photo released by the Russian government. The content of the photo had been photoshopped, with a soldier standing right in front of Belikov. He was sure that Belikov was dead because 47 had never failed before. As for Belikov still appearing on TV after his death, there was a conspiracy. Mike was determined to get to the bottom of it, but first, he had to catch 47. Right now, 47 is running barefoot through a pedestrian street, which is ruining his image. He steps into a fashion store, changes his appearance, and comes out looking sharp. 47, dressed in a black suit, still stands out that much. To get to the bottom of this, Nika is the key. He grabs a bouquet of roses and rings Nika's doorbell. Nika peeked through the peephole and saw only a bouquet of red flowers. 47 lied, saying it was a gift from Belikov. Nika, believing him, reluctantly opened the door. But as soon as she opened it, she was taken down. This bald guy, showing no mercy, immediately grabbed her by the throat and restrained her. 47 scanned the area, making sure no one else was around, then forced Nika to leave the hotel. The trunk of a car opened automatically. 47 tried to shove her into the trunk, but she stubbornly refused. Ignoring her resistance, 47 just drove off. 47 tied Nika up in a hideout. He wanted to confirm if Nika saw his actions. Nika shook her head wildly, denying it. It turned out Nika was Belikov's mistress. Belikov told her to wait for him there, but this made no sense. 47 was sure he had blown Belikov's head off. Nika said she knew nothing. Then, "You're useless to me." Seeing 47 pull out his gun, Nika frantically begged for her life. It turned out Belikov had a body double, but 47 again insisted that the one he killed was the real deal. It seemed like Nika was no longer of any use. He raises his gun, ready to silence her for good. But when he sees the small dragon tattoo on Nika's cheek, 47 hesitates. He was chosen by the organization as a child, his head shaved from a young age, and his only tattoo on the back of his neck. Every day was spent rigorously training his killing skills. Running only meant a quicker death. When he became an adult, the organization gave him 2 silver pistols, marking the start of his endless life of killing. 47 pushes aside his past and asks Nika why she got a tattoo on her face. Nika says it's the only place Belikov wouldn't hit her. It turns out Nika was just a plaything for Belikov, her fate even more tragic than 47's. 47's compassion was stirred. He decided to take Nika with him to find the mastermind, because even if Nika stayed, Belikov wouldn't spare her. The two prepared to board a train to Moscow, unaware that the police had already set a trap everywhere. 47 told Nika to wait for him at the final station because he had spotted Mike, and besides, the newly installed light bulb in the chicken coop was very bright. He disguised himself and blended in with the police on the train, but the tattoo on the back of his neck was too obvious. The assassin spotted him immediately. At the same time, Mike also noticed the assassin. One look at his head, and it was clear he came from the same training ground as 47. Mike ordered his men to split up. The assassin followed 47, staying about 10 meters behind. 47 had already realized it. He suddenly jumped over the railing. The assassin, seeing he was exposed, stopped hiding and gave chase. They reached a warehouse, where the assassin smelled gunpowder. Sure enough, 47 appeared from behind, snatched the assassin's gun and shot him in the leg. Then he stepped on one of the assassin's hands, breaking his arm. At this moment, a figure flashed by. 47 followed the figure to a train car, where another bald guy suddenly appeared. The two were locked in a standoff, pointing guns at each other, when the director decided to add 2 more bald guys to the mix. Now there were enough for a game of mahjong. 47, playing the dealer, suggested they switch to a more dignified way to die. The 4 instantly agreed. In a synchronized move, they threw down their guns, pulled out daggers from behind their backs, and pointed them at each other. The spark ignited. Even though it was 1 against 3, 47 didn't flinch. He unleashed a withering chrysanthemum move, seriously injuring one of them, then gave another one a taste of a belly slice. Finally, only the stubborn egghead remained. 47 removed his belt, wrapped it around the egghead's neck from behind, and used the love of the waves technique to completely subdue him. Then, 47 stood before the first assassin and asked, "You thought it was over? It's only just begun." 47 raised his hand and fired a shot. Turning around, he saw Nika huddled in a corner. He scolded Nika for not listening and running off. Seeing Nika crying her eyes out, 47 didn't say anything more. He reached out and pulled Nika up, then pressed against the wall, signaling her to be quiet. Turns out, Mike's men had followed the trail and caught up. 47 launched a surprise attack from the side, a shot piercing his opponent's arm. Just then, Mike arrived, and 47 used his man as a shield. For the first time, Mike saw the face of the man he'd been chasing for so long. He offered 47 to release his subordinate and take him hostage instead. Unexpectedly, 47 raised his hand and fired. Even with a bulletproof vest, the pain was so intense that Mike's soul almost left his body. 47 then elbowed his subordinate, knocking him out, and moved in to finish off Mike. Just then, like an angel descending, Nika begged 47 not to do it, saying he had killed enough people already. 47 thought for a moment and finally put his gun away. She had just saved him. Mike had 3 broken ribs. Yuri pretended to visit, but came to warn Mike to back off. If he did, Yuri could even write a thank you letter for Mike, who might even get a medal out of it. But if Mike persisted, Yuri would use international law to drag him to court. Mike knows the more Yuri tries to stop him, the more he needs to dig deeper. So, he pretends to be friendly with Yuri, and while doing that, he secretly plants a listening device on his collar. Then he tells him, "Get the hell out." Yuri, fuming, storms back to his office and orders his guys to find the most secure phone line. He then makes a very important call. And guess what? Mike hears every single word. Yuri's boss tells him he has to take out 47 and Nika, or else the upcoming speeches are a no-go. That night, Nika goes alone to meet an American guy. She hands him a phone, At that moment, 47 is in a tall building not far away, aiming his rifle, ready to fire. It turned out this man was a CIA chief. They had exchanged intelligence before, so they were somewhat acquainted. According to the man, Belikov, due to his increasingly moderate political stance, had caused dissatisfaction among the hardliners. Therefore, they planned this assassination, using a body double to replace him. Currently, only 47 and Nika knew the truth about the double, which was the real reason Yuri wanted them eliminated. 47 continued, asking which side the CIA was on. The man replied that they only chose the winning side. Then, Nika presented a stack of photos. The person in the photos was the CIA's biggest headache, Belikov's brother, the arms dealer Yuri Belikov. 47 said, "I can help you take care of him." In return, the CIA had to help him with a small favor. If not, I'll expose the CIA's dirty laundry. All right, I'll see what I can do. After that, 47 took Nika to Istanbul. Yuri was going to conduct an arms deal there. However, the two parties involved in the deal had never met, presenting a huge opportunity for 47. 47 went to the hotel where the buyer was staying and found out that his dinner reservation was for 8 p.m. that night. He and Nika then booked a table not far from the buyer's. As a waiter passed by, 47 swiftly snatched a glass of wine. The waiter said, "Excuse me, sir, this wine is for another guest." 47 responded vaguely, "Table 26, right?" "Yes, sir." Afterward, 47 puts the wine glass back where he found it. No one noticed that he had slipped a laxative into the drink. The buyer's director, having just finished his wine, suddenly can't hold it in anymore. 47 uses a spoon to observe and sees him being escorted to the restroom by his bodyguard. 47 tells Nika to pay the bill while he heads to the restroom. After a pat down, the bodyguard lets him in. He goes straight to a stall, retrieving a pistol and a syringe of poison hidden in the toilet tank. By now, the director has finished his business. 47 quickly attaches the silencer, then quietly steps out. One shot takes out the bodyguard. He then injects the poison into the director, dragging his body behind the stall door. Two unlucky guys died on the spot. Then, 47, posing as a buyer, went alone to meet Yuri. Yuri's henchmen opened the suitcase of money, frisked 47 all over, and only then let him in. But the time for the deal hadn't come yet. 47 had arrived early, ruining Yuri's mood. Yuri ignored 47 and continued chatting with a beautiful woman. At this moment, his subordinate informed him that 47 was an imposter. Yuri was slightly taken aback, but relying on his numerical advantage, he wasn't scared at all. He even excitedly introduced his weapons to 47. "This is the Bison submachine gun. Tons of bullets, low recoil. And this is the M203, equipped with a grenade launcher. It's brains and brawn, a top pick in any shooter game. This is the Makarov 250, a favorite of undercover agents." Just as he finished that sentence, he suddenly fired. The bullet whizzing past 47, missing him by just 5 meters. His shooting skills were nowhere near 47's. Then, 47 loaded up, his hands moving like lightning as he unleashed a hail of bullets, starting a massacre in a shower of cash. Yuri grabbed 2 Browning machine guns and fired wildly. 47 dodged behind a pillar, taking the chance to close his eyes and rest for a split second. Taking advantage of the enemy reloading, he threw a grenade, ending the fight. Yuri was fried to a crisp, his face bright red. "Why are you doing this to me?" 47 coldly replied, "I want you to help me deal with your brother." Yuri, driven into a corner, panicked. "I'll do whatever you say. Just tell me what you want." That's it. 47 wanted to use Yuri's death to lure Belikov out. Meanwhile, Mike had returned to headquarters, obsessively studying the items left behind by 47. This crucifix was particularly perplexing to him. 47 drove Nika to the Russia-Turkey border. The two developed feelings for each other, full of hope for the future. Nika dreamed of owning her vineyard one day, a wish that 47 committed to memory. Afterward, they boarded a train to Moscow. Nika leaned on 47's shoulder. It was time to part ways. 47 felt a pang of reluctance, but he knew that as long as Belikov was alive, Nika would never be safe. He told Nika that when the train arrived in Russia, She should immediately get off, blend into the crowd, and quickly disappear. He would take care of everything for her. Meanwhile, Interpol received intel that Belikov would attend his brother's funeral the next day. Mike predicted that 47 would strike again, and this would be his last chance. As a first step, 47 kidnapped Yuri. Yuri was chained to a bathtub. Underneath the tub was a high-voltage generator. 47 ordered him to use a radio at a specific time to command his men to shoot Belikov. He only had 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, the generator would kick in, turning Yuri into toast. Live or die, it's your call. Belikov showed up right on time. Even though he was just a double, the Russian army still deployed nearly 100 special forces to protect him. Trying to cause trouble here was suicide. Mike hoped the Russian general would take 47 seriously, but he didn't give it a second thought. Belikov took the stage precisely on schedule. Yuri was running out of time, his chest heaving violently. Seeing the clock ticking down, he finally made his decision. Hurry, take action, change the target, shoot Belikov. You sure? He was just a body double. The shot was supposed to be aimed at 47, but the muzzle was pointed at the double. However, the first shot hit the bulletproof glass. Then came the second, the third, shattering the glass. The bodyguards escorted Belikov away. The Russian general ordered a lockdown and the action began. Nobody knew that 47 had infiltrated the security team. He attacked from behind, firing relentlessly. All the bodyguards dropped dead on the spot. Then 47 removed his mask, dragging Belikov while continuing to shoot. He was truly unstoppable, killing anyone in his path. He dragged Belikov into the Archbishop's chamber, but another bald assassin was already lying in wait there. He grabbed a long spear and attacked 47. However, this bald assassin was unskilled, and after a few rounds, he lost an ear, finally being thrown to the ground by 47, who then crushed his freshly shaved head under his foot. At this moment, Mike noticed that the key in his hand was identical to a carving in the church. What is this key for? The Archbishop's private room. Mike instantly deduced that 47 planned to escape by river. He immediately led his people to the riverbank. The Russian general also ordered helicopters to be deployed. In the bishop's room, 47 discovered Belikov's plastic surgery scar. Finally confirming with his own eyes that this was a double, 47 demanded he reveal the mastermind, but the imposter put on airs. If you kill me, the person behind me won't let you get away with it. Even if you become a ghost, they will drag you back and shoot you again. Seeing 47 lower his gun, the double thought he had a chance. He started painting a rosy picture for 47. When he was done, 47, without hesitation, sent him to meet his maker. He had just killed the president. Just then, a Russian attack helicopter appeared right outside the window. Hearing that the president was dead, the helicopter immediately opened fire. 47 took cover under a table and survived, but the already dead body double was shot once more. After the helicopter left, 47 pushed the double's corpse aside and sat in that very spot. He placed his beloved gun down and waited to be captured. Mike led the charge, breaking down the door and rushing in. 47 offered no resistance. No one knew that he had planned everything out during the escort to the airport. Mike's car was suddenly blocked by several others. The people who arrived didn't say a word and immediately surrounded them. Their leader was a CIA guy. He was the one 47 had asked for help. Mike identified himself, warning them that he was transporting an international criminal. But when he turned back, 47 was gone from the car. Seeing that the job was done, the CIA guy pretended it was a case of mistaken identity. I apologize for the inconvenience. Then the CIA guy led his men away quickly. On the way, he received a text message from 47. We're even. But 47's story wasn't over yet. A few months later, he unexpectedly showed up at Mike's house. He knew Mike wouldn't give up on catching him, so he brought another bald corpse. This was the man Mike had been searching for all along. The bullet wounds would prove that he was killed by Mike's gun. The magazine was on Mike's bedside table. If Mike didn't want to go to jail, he should take this body and close the case. Doing so would benefit everyone. For his family's sake, Mike had no choice but to agree. The battle of wits between the cop and the criminal finally came to an end. Nika also received a deed to a vineyard. Her dream had finally come true. She knew that the person who helped her achieve her dream was 47, and 47 was always watching over her from afar. I told you to stay away from her. You should have listened to me. Having personally helped the woman he cared for realize her dream, 47 finally found a new purpose for himself. The value of a film lies in its reputation, while the value of a film review lies in the insights it provides. That's it for today's story. Thanks for watching. What did you think of this movie? Let me know in the comments below.